Hey, can you believe it? We've been doing 7 episodes of this.
I know. Seven long weeks of awesomeness.
It is, and originally I thought there was going to be 7 episodes, but it turns out there's obviously a lot more.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like a mid-season thing.
Possibly. Do you know what I mean? I mean, like I said, we're 7 episodes in, mate, and stuff like that. I mean, how are you finding the show?
Um, it's really interesting. Just the whole concept of it all.
It is, and the thing is as well. I mean, one thing I like is like we've been obviously following obviously each person and stuff like that, and you're getting to know them a lot more.
Yeah, I think you're starting to get down to the sort of business end, though. You're seeing certain characters and certain people getting more sort of, what was it, shall we say, camera time than others.
Yeah, definitely and stuff. And the thing is as well. I mean, this is obviously doing well for the channel. I think that we're up to like 900 views just on this Joe review thing alone.
Nice. That's what you
So
want.
absolutely. So, Kersey, we're going to be looking at episode 7 and stuff like that. I've got to be honest, out of all the episodes, when it obviously got like the trailer, this is the one I've been looking forward to the most.
Yeah, especially with Gunther and that comment he made to Undertaker.
Oh yes, we're going to be talking all about that, mate.
I was looking forward to that. I was looking forward to seeing what Taker's response was to that, but it was quite interesting.
Absolutely. So we'll roll the intro, mate, and then let's get into it. Here we go. So, Haney, you mentioned it's been a mad week and stuff like that. Has it just been work all week for you?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, you just work.
Anything else exciting? Anything else to report? Like you're not like doing anything intriguing?
Intriguing. Oh, I'm always doing intriguing stuff. You know, writing. If it was using the AI to write the next great hit. You know, some great songs like "Kebab and the Rum." What was it?
You've been posting them in the group chat, and you know something. I really enjoy them stuff like that because if you notice, one of them we actually used for the montage video.
Yeah, definitely. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely, mate.
It's great. It's great fun. I'm getting to learn more about it and have more control over it and things like that. You know, so obviously, what was it? Lyrics and stuff like that. I think I'm half decent at writing, but what was it called? What was it? I never. Well, I played instruments, but I never got into this whole sort of like building songs and things like that. You know, so it's good fun.
Of course, so you never know, guys. Stay tuned. We may actually hear one of his little songs he's wrote and stuff like that. So, mate, we're obviously covering WWE LFG episode 7 and stuff like that. Now, it's with Gunther, do you know what I mean? And the good thing about this is you could tell there's a different atmosphere as soon as he walked into that performance center.
Yeah. This doesn't he actually just fill me full of hope for what was it the episode. This fills me full of hope that Gunther's actually got a wrestling school, and we might actually get back to what wrestling was as opposed to what it has become. You know, because obviously, we'll talk about some of it as we go along. You know, but he's definitely really passionate about it, and it sort of opens up with even Taker saying, "This is my guy. He's old school."
And that's the thing. Do you think that's the thing missing in like wrestling these days is the old school mentality?
It is. There's a lot of posers and a lot of people that think they can do it and they can't. You know, what was it? For me, and it's very disengaging when I'm sort of watching wrestling and things. Things have got to make sense to me. If they don't make sense, then what was it? I struggle with it. I don't. People say, "Well, it's wrestling. It's meant to be it's meant to be fake anyway." It's like, well, no. You know, you don't go to a play. What was it? In them, what was it? Having played badly, you know. No, but it's all right. That's how they do it now. They act badly, or you go to a music concert and says, "Yeah, but was it? Go to see Metallica." Yeah, Kirk's not really practiced for the last 12 years. You know, he's doing all these mistakes and these notes and things like that. You know, no, you'd be raging. You know, what was it called? So it's the same with wrestling. When things don't make sense, then what was it? I struggle with it, and what was it? Dislike it, shall we say? So it's good to see that sort of mentality of that strict sort of like, even though the cat's out the bag and people know what wrestling is, it doesn't mean you still shouldn't protect it. You know?
No, exactly, and stuff like that. So the thing is, we start with Gunther obviously walking up and down, obviously the performance guys, as we'll call them, and straight away he went to Jasper Troy. Now we obviously, I think was it 2 weeks? Was it last week or the week before we see him Punk?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Last week was it live. Yeah.
Yeah, there was the live crowd, weren't it? Then we were, yeah. But yeah, obviously he starts obviously with Jasper Troy, obviously calling him out for obviously with the Punk thing.
Yeah, that was a bit of a receipt. That was a bit of a receipt. That one, you know, that was like, what was it? If you'd done that in my locker room, you were doing fucking out the locker room.
But yeah, the thing is, you can see Jasper Troy got a little bit emotional and stuff like that, despite obviously the guy's physique. But Gunther actually turned around and said, and I quote here, "Until he can show he's on the level you call someone like Punk, Gunther, he needs to shut his mouth." I mean, straight to the point. But a lot of people seem to have like been really strict with Gunther's comments.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was great. You know, but was it just to see that he's got that seriousness about him. It's not just a character. He really is that sort of that guy. You know, what was it called? And what was it? He made a few other comments. You know, to other people as well. You know, we'll get into, but certainly, what was it? For TV purposes, he was making it well known that he doesn't like the disrespect. You know, that some people have got for the business. You know, he made a comment about some of you here because your main dream failed and you just decided I'll give that wrestling a go because it might be easy because it's fake. You know, that was it. So and that sort of led into sort of one of the other altercations as well.
Yeah, so one of the other altercations you're talking about is Tyra May Steele and stuff like that.
Yep.
He talked obviously a lot about the the Olympic background and stuff like that, but then he also got into like paying the bills. I've got to be honest, I was like, oh shit, that was a little bit harsh, but it kind of leads back to that old school mentality.
It is, you know, and let's not forget what was it. What was it? Gunther has what was it? Had to do it the hard way across Europe, and what was it? What was it in the UK? They didn't have the structure of the WWE or the Indies in America. It was pretty much just like it was back in the territory days. You went in and you get booked for a show. You know, you were relying on your name and the what was it, the reputation you brought. You know, so it's important that you protect that and you protect the other people around about you. You know, and what was it? He obviously doesn't like people faking it, shall we say?
No, exactly, and stuff like that. And the other person, obviously, he pointed things at, and I think this was in the trailer, was with Xena Sterling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest, I did smile a little bit because I think, and obviously we'll talk about this later, that it's one thing to smile and stuff like that, but when you're smiling constantly, it does come across sometimes. It depends on obviously who it is you're not taking it seriously. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I get what you're sort of saying. You know, what was it? The problem is these people have, and that's not like being disrespectful, but some of these younger people now coming through, they've never had somebody giving them a right rollicking. You know, what was it? Like. What was it like you do now? Obviously, but was it you've got an Olympic champion here, and it was obviously she's probably went through it, but a lot of people go through what was it, high school or college, and basically, but was it they get a good well done for participating, you know. You know, it's you're in a world now where there's people bigger and better than you, so you need to stand out.
No, exactly, and stuff like that. Now, after this, obviously, matches were obviously announced with all four of them, including Gunther. You mentioned the thing with the Undertaker, and I don't think I've ever seen Undertaker that pissed on the show.
Yeah, I don't think he was pissed at Gunther though. I think he was pissed at himself because he's thought to himself, "Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you know, what was it called? I probably haven't brought it out of her. You know, what was it? Because they obviously think Gunther obviously thinks that she's got something like huge potential. You know, that none of the other ones have got because of who she is and what she's achieved. You know, so to call that out was interesting. And it was Deacon basically says, for a minute there, I was like, "Who the fuck does he think I am?" He is talking to me like that. Does he know who I am? And then he went, "Yeah, actually, it makes sense."
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. So the matches obviously were announced as follows: Jasper Troy versus Cutler James, Tyra Maysteele versus Zena Sterling, Shiloh versus Troy Yearwood, and Bailey Humphrey versus Leah Laurel. So they're obviously the matches we'll obviously get through. And after that, we've got a little bit of an update with Danny and stuff like that. We obviously know she had issues with her back, but it seems like it's getting a little bit worse.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully, what was it? It doesn't deteriorate to the point, you know, that it takes her out of it completely. But sometimes these things happen, doesn't it? With the sort of injuries and things that sort of occur. So hopefully that's okay.
No, exactly. So after this, we've obviously got him basically working with the matches and stuff. Now there's a confrontation with Tyra Maysteele and Gunther and stuff like that, and I think his comments kind of got to her a little bit. You remember what the comments were?
Yes. So basically, she's too happy and smiley. What was it called? And I think he was. I think he was playing a bit of thing with it to try and pull something out of her. You know, I think he knew that would piss her off, right?
Yeah.
What was it? What was it? Because that's what good coaches do. They pull something out of people, you know. But it didn't give. Obviously, as the show continues, it didn't get the reaction that he thought until obviously it did, and by that point it was too late. But we'll get to that.
No, exactly. And I think Bully said that you're smiling so much to a point where Gunther doesn't think you're taking it seriously. And again, it's like it's that toughness and stuff like that. That's obviously the key thing for this week. But do you get where it's coming from anyway? When people's constantly smiling, we're not saying it's a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? Smile all you want, but it's like anything in this day and age. You know, if you're constantly smiling, whatever you do, people do get that perception where you're not taking it serious.
Yeah, you can come. I mean, the problem is there's that many people now that they're out there with a sort of facade. It almost is sort of attributed to being fake, you know. So, hey, what was it called? Sometimes you've got to hide it, and I think he doesn't see her as a sort of cookie cutter sort of baby face that she's playing just now. You know, I think they see her as like a badass sort of wrestler that's going to come in and destroy people. You know. She should be on that. She should when she progresses, she'll be on that sort of Ronda Rousey level of like Olympic. I know. I think Ronda got a silver, didn't she? But on that level of right, Kurt Angle. This person's not to be messed with, and I think they're trying to bring that out in her any way possible. You know. And it's probably easier. I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but it's probably easier to get that out of a guy than a girl because you could probably get they could probably get away with a lot more abuse towards the guy than the girl, you know. So it's how do you bring that out, you know? Abuse. I don't mean abuse in a bad way. I mean, you know, like, well, you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Stuff like that. I want to put the spotlight on Xena this time because, like, Bully wants a different side of her completely, and this really piqued my interest to see where they went with this.
Yes, so it's interesting. What was it? And what was because I was thinking I seen this and I think what was it? Rhea Ripley is the mold for this, you know, because what was it? Because she was that sort of stereotypical sort of female wrestler, blonde hair, came in, you know, and then she was going to get released, and then she changed up her look, you know, as one last ditch, and she became who she really wanted to be, you know. She was, you know, Rhea said that she was not fake, but she wasn't who she really wanted to be, and I think what was it? The look that sort of what was it? What was it that she's got here? What was it? And obviously we get into a bit of that topic as well. It's very cookie cutter. It's very the norm, you know. Blonde, nice blonde, you know. what was it called? They're a dime a dozen in wrestling, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way either. I just mean, what was it? There's a lot of them.
No, exactly. Like I said, we'll talk about that match because it's obviously the second match. But of course, match number one was Charlotte Hill for Team Taker versus Troy Yu for Team Mickey and stuff like that. I like this character, just Charlotte Hill. You know, the aggressions and stuff like that. There was a few little spots where I'm watching as a fan going, I'm not too sure about that. Gunther obviously picked up on it as well. But what did you think to this one?
Yeah, what was it called? I mean, obviously, what was it? You've got sort of, I think, I'm trying to, like, what was it? Obviously, what was it? Gunther and Booker T liked this match, but what was it? Booker T would obviously like this match. You know, what was it? It was probably the most physical of the matches, but like this, what was it? I'm trying to think. What was it? Because yeah, what was it? It was. It was interesting seeing the dialogue between the coaches and the wrestlers, and I think was this the match where Booker T says he went to say something and says, "Oh no, I'm not meant. What was it? I don't mean to be coaching," or was that the other match? I can't remember. I think that was the one with Cutler, wasn't it?
Yes.
What was it? What was it? But I mean, this was a solid match, and they seemed pretty happy with it once it got to the finish.
Yeah, so winner was Charlotte Hill via the pin at 3 minutes 7 shown. Mickey tells Troy that she did not see a badass tonight. Athletically, he was great, but it was lacking emotion. Taker has Shiloh show off the handprint on his back and makes Gunther happy to see that. Booker isn't sold and wants to see people slapping me. Bubba didn't. I haven't seen any urgency from either one of them. So it was a good match, but it was like I get where they're coming from, Joe, the emotional side thing.
Yeah. There's a contrast in this episode because at one point they're telling you not to show too much emotion, and then in the other match they're telling you need to show a bit more emotion. So I guess it's a bit juggling it and finding the right sort of spot for it.
No, exactly. So next up we've got and the one we've got obviously a bit of debate with this one is Xena Sterling for Team Bubba versus Tyra May Steele for Team Taker. I just want to say this, by the way. Do you know what I mean? I like this version of Xena. Do you know what I mean? I like the headlocks. I like the look, absolutely everything. But again, I mean, the thing is with Tyra May and stuff like that. Again, I don't see the heel. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what they're trying to get out of her.
Yeah, she's not there yet, is she? Really? Which is what was it? Yeah, I mean, what was it? She's not quite come out of her shell yet. What was it called? So obviously this match happened. I think they got what was it? They got some good feedback. What was it? Mickey didn't like the outfit. I sort of disagree. What was it called? I thought that was a bit of a power play on Mickey's part.
Mm-hmm.
For what was it called? If that's what she wants to wear, then let her wear it.
And that's the thing. I mean, you mentioned it there, and this caused obviously a lot of spark online and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of people are saying that we see. I'm not going to mention wrestling names, but people listening probably know exactly what we're on about and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We see it throughout WWE, AEW, TNA. Do you know what I mean? We just see it throughout, and I've always said, for me personally, as a wrestling fan, and this is obviously what I've learned over the years, is if that's what the wrestler wants to wear and they feel comfortable, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Mickey James. Just because you're in your late 40s and your arse is sagging doesn't mean the other girls can't do it. So, yeah.
No, exactly. Did you see Velvet Sky's response?
No, I did not.
So she basically said that she didn't see any issue with it, and then I'll send you the thing after, and she basically said that she didn't see any issue with it.
To be what was it, in defence of like Mickey James's part, that like she wasn't a WWE when the Diva era was happening, and they were doing pillar fights and they were doing mud matches and they were doing brand matches. The Knockouts division in TNA, they really knocked it out of the park back then. They're sort of the originators of modern women wrestling over there. So what was it? Mickey's probably got some stories that are uncomfortable. You know, we all know what happened when she was released the last time in the WWE as well, when Mark Carrano was and that. You know, there was a culture of badness towards the women. You know, what was it? So experience might come into that. You know, as well. You know, but yeah, it is what it is.
No, exactly. And Taker obviously didn't like Tyra May. This wasn't her greatest thing. It was obviously what Taker said and stuff like that.
No.
We know we've seen it for weeks here. You know, I mean, she's got the arsenal. You know, I mean, she's got things in her repertoire, which is good, but it's just getting that balance right.
Yeah, you've got to learn to pull the trigger on it. You know, and they made an important comment during that as well, because they referenced sort of like she needs to study Kurt Angle and what he did, because that would work perfectly for her. You know, but then again, that can be the death nail. You don't want it to be the female Kurt Angle. You know, what was it called? But on the flip side, it's a great person to look at to get a sort of a gauge of what you should be doing, because obviously they're very high on her. But they sort of indicate as well, and they've sort of read reference in the past. Just because you've got it, and what we're looking for doesn't mean you'll end up getting to where you need to go. You need to be able to go there as well. You know, so it's a bit hard. And then obviously this led her to cutting a promo that she probably should have cut in the ring, you know. But in front of a camera, she got quite emotional, you know. What was it called? And I felt, what was it? I actually disagreed with her, because I felt like, in the sense, like, I could understand what she was sort of saying, but that was the emotion that they were trying to pull out of her, that anger, you know, that she had, but not like obviously emote it too much in what you're doing. Be vicious, you know. And they didn't really do anything vicious in the match for me, which was very strange, you know.
Do you know something? I think you're on point there, and I didn't think about that. Do you know, doing that promo in the ring, because I feel like that would have been interesting. Now, if you remember back, Shiloh Hill did the same thing. He shot a promo right at the end, and we fought the exactly same thing.
Yeah, you know, what was it? It's you've got to pull your punches, and you've got to sort of do stuff when it's necessary, rather than like, in hindsight, you know, it's easy to look at, but I really think that was the wrong time to do it, you know, because she's gave that away now on camera. What was it called? That reaction that she can have, that raw emotion, you know. I think it was like who was it? The first week. What was it? And they got her to tell a sort of story, and it was Bubba Ray says like, what was it? There, I've got you to cry without even trying, you know. That's how you control emotion, you know.
I think it was Leah or Laral. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I think it was, you know. And there's lots of little lessons in here. It's very fascinating listening to them talking about the structure of the matches as well, and how they should have done stuff, and what was it, not doing stuff, and you know, what was it? It's all very fascinating.
Absolutely. So next up we've got is Jasper Troy for Team Booker versus Cutler James for Team Bubba. Now, typical, do you know what I mean? I'm a massive fan of Jasper Troy. I feel like he's one to watch and stuff like that. The only thing that wound me up with this match was when they were outside, I felt like they spent too long out there, to be air.
They shouldn't be even outside the ring. There was no reason to be outside the ring, you know. What was it? I agree with the comments when they did this sort of like the double chop on the chest, and the response, he should have ripped his shirt off. What's he doing with a shirt on in the first place? I think Gunther says, or was it Booker T? What was it called?
Both of them, I think.
Yeah. What was it? They were on like what was it? Sold some stuff, which I think Cutler should rightly so be pissed at, you know, because they were making the point out that he's like, the reason Bubba Ray says the reason I picked you is because, what was it? Because I know you work, and he says because he's sitting there, and he says he's obviously got that sort of thing. He's obviously putting him in the sort of same sort of category of Gunther, you know, maybe not by ability, but what was it, character wise, you know, so he sees something in him, and to me, they didn't really pull that out for me in this match, you know. What was it? The big impact moves didn't really. You don't really know, because obviously they're cutting it up for differently than it would be on television, but it didn't feel right, you know. Everything was a bit fast, and some of the stuff they did was a bit off point, I felt. but it was an all right match.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, Cutler got the pin and stuff like that, and it was mixed. It was a physical match. I mean, let's obviously not forget that.
Yeah, it was, but what was it called? It was funny at the end. He's Booker T's like, is he? I think he was all right, and because he's selling, yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll certainly be interesting to see how it sort of plays out going forward.
Absolutely. And of course, the main event was Bailey Humphrey for Team Taker versus Leah Laurel for Team Booker. I've got to be honest for this one, and I noticed it straight away. This match seemed a little too slow for my liking.
Yeah, but was it the problem I have with this match is I would envision somebody like Bailey just coming in and just destroying people, So what was it? Was it that makes it a bit harder to sort of what was it thing? I think Mickey and Booker thought that she was doing too much in the ring, obviously Bailey was a lot more physical. I think both have got a lot of potential, but what was it? I mean, to me, Bailey's a very let's face it. When she makes it to the main roster, she's not going to be on as Bailey, but she's just she's just phenomenal. I think she's the one that's got the potential to be that badass female monster. What was it? I'm looking forward to see where they sort of go with that.
No, exactly. And so after these matches, we obviously got the points. So before we obviously announce who got the points from which, who would you give the point to from the men's side and the women's side?
For me, I would have probably given the points in the first match for the men. What was it? Because what was it? The Cutler match and that didn't really do it for me. Just because it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Again, we don't see what's cut out. And then lastly, I would give what was it? Bailey the point as well. I think Bailey's fantastic.
So Gunther gives the point to Xena. So Bubba is finally on the board. Holy cow, the streak is over. Gunther tells the women that they basically felt like they outdid the men tonight. And I have to agree with that. For me personally, I mean, Bailey's good. I understand that. But for me, I have to agree. I thought Xena was absolutely top-notch this week.
Yeah.
But when we got to the men here... Sorry, go ahead, Danny.
I would sort of agree with that comment as well. The men were a bit pussyfooting about. They didn't show any of that aggression at all that men should show. They're tippy-toed around things.
No, exactly.
I never understand these programs, right? Yeah, and it's not just in wrestling. It's like when you watch Apprentice and that as well. Do the people that enter it not get the MO of what the show is about? Or is it just that it's edited that way? It's hard.
No, exactly, and stuff. But the interesting thing is when we got. But the interesting thing is when we got to obviously the point for the man, I was a little bit confused how this all came about because it looked like he was going to give the point to Jasper, but Shiloh Hill essentially got the point, and I was a little bit confused the whole thing, to be honest.
Yeah, that made no sense. What was it called? Obviously, the first match for me was the best match, but what was it? I don't understand why he gave it to Shiloh, to be honest.
No, but obviously after this, we got Jasper obviously talking to the camera and stuff like that. And this just shows how good Gunther is. He actually confronted him and explained to him why he didn't get the point. And the emotional side of wrestling here, I mean, we know as fans, it can be emotional stuff like that. And if you don't get them in check, you're not going to go places, let's be honest.
Yeah, and he sort of said he's sort of how do you put it? What was it? A bit hot-headed, but the emotion shouldn't be with the wrestler. The emotion should be with the fans, what was it? The people in the crowd, I think, and I think that's what they're trying to get through to him, what was it? And emotion is very risky. Emotion is very risky in wrestling as well because although you're in there with an opponent, you're in there with a teammate. You know, you're working with the guy you're in the ring as well. You know, so you can get overly emotional. We've seen what can happen in wrestling if wrestlers get emotional about things. You know, so what was it? There's a lot of etiquette that Gunther probably taught these guys on this episode about wrestling that we don't normally see.
I've got to be honest. This is probably one of my absolute favorite episodes. You know, what I mean, you got the toughness, the seriousness. You know, you got the whole package for this.
Yeah, it's quite funny. What was it? What was it? What was it? Because I was like, what was it? When they were talking about Gunther's wrestling school, and I think, yeah, that's probably that wrestler's going to be like skills like full metal jacket. This is my headlock. There are many of them, but this one is mine.
Dear. So next week, Annie, it's obviously DDP is obviously on the show. I've got a feeling this is going to be more about the entrance.
Yeah. It's me, it's DDP.
But the interesting thing is, I'm curious to see who Bubba actually goes off on.
Yeah. I think probably Cutler or BJ.
Possibly. And then the other thing is, somebody's coming off the top rope. I dread to think what's going to happen here.
Ooh. Didn't look good, did it?
No, did it? Fuck. And stuff like that. So now, obviously, we know the point system now. So scoreboard is as follows: Team Taker with 5, Team Booker with 4, Team Mickey with 2, and finally, Bubba is on the scoreboard.
Yep, woohoo! Bubba's, I mean, he made a joke about it. It's like, I'm screwed. You know,
yeah,
it's very odd. This whole series is very odd because if I was to if you were to tell me at the beginning of this series that Bubba was the good cop and all this, I would have went, no, not Bubba. You know, he's going to be the bad cop one. You know,
I think he's just having a blast, to be honest.
Yeah. You know, what was it called? Really cool. You know, but again, great legends and a great episode and great sort of special sort of guest. Absolutely love Gunther. What was it? I'm now even bigger fan after seeing this. They need to give him his own show. Just going in and just giving people rollickings. You know, it's just so intimidating. You know, it's great to see that sort of mentality. To me, that's what wrestling's about. You know, that character.
100% agree, my man, and stuff like that. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. Obviously, this goes out Friday and stuff like that. The next show's obviously on Sunday. We only ever do them the Friday or the Thursday, so people get a chance to watch them. You know, because obviously you times and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna be sad when this is finished, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but was it? Who knows what WWE is going to fill it with? You know, but what was it? You know, what was it? But was it? It's interesting to see the emotions and all that, and sort of the guys as well. You know, some of them really want it, and some of them are probably what Gunther says, it's a second chance because our first dream sort of failed. You know, so but yeah, looking forward to seeing when it happens.
Absolutely. So, guys, obviously we're back on Saturday. We've got a little Q&A type show. If fans can obviously send questions, then you can do that. I've also got a list of questions which I'm going to throw to the guys anyway. So we're just going to have a nice little discussion show in it.
That'd be good. Don't make the questions too hard, though.
I won't, don't you worry. Just be wrestling news and stuff like that. So cheers for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next one.